What do you understand by the term mechanization? It is simply the application of machines to make work easier. You're trying to apply a machine to aid in day to day operations. This is Amon Sarane, and welcome to the encounter. A machine is able to run if it has all its parts in place and fixed. Therefore, for every machine to operate, there must be a force behind it that makes it operate. There must be gas for you to drive your car. There must be staples for you to use the stapler that we mentioned about. So there must be a force behind the machine for it to be able to run smoothly. Let's think of also a system. And what is a system? The connection of these parts that makes this machine is a system. And the way a system runs is according to how it's set up to run. And I believe we are a system. As a human being, you are a system. You are a combination of machines that God put in you to make your life easier, for your life to run without complications. I'm saying this today because I want us to stop and interrogate ourselves as a system. How many times do you appreciate yourself that your system is working? How many times do you appreciate and thank God for the existence of a machine in you that works? Have you ever thought of how your liver works? Have you ever thought of how your heart works? Have you ever thought of how the organs that you have in your body helps in keeping you alive? How many times do you appreciate the fact that you're feeling healthy? Those small things that run in our body naturally, that we think it's normal, that we don't even try to figure out how it works, and at the end of the day it works. How many times do you appreciate the fact that you're feeling alive and well and all the systems are running? Just as much as I believe that for every machine to run there should be a force behind it, for every machine to work there should be a gas for your car to move, I also believe that since we are a system, we have a connection of the machines in us that helps us breathe, work, live, and be able to perform our day to day functions. I believe that there's a supreme being behind this mechanization. When you are made, God assembled all these organs together just to make sure that you survive and you live and you are active. There must be a supreme being behind the human being that you see today. So, how many times do you thank the supreme being behind it for the fact that you are alive, for the fact that you don't feel any pains, for the fact that your liver can still cleanse your blood, for the fact that your kidneys can still cleanse everything in your body, for the fact that your heart can still pump blood to the various parts of the body. When we are hit by an illness or sickness and we start feeling pain, that is when we start to understand what is going on in our bodies. And that's when we start paying attention to what is happening in our bodies. Just as when the machine part wears down, the machine is going to make noise or it's going to stop working. And at some point, you're going to have to do some repairs. But in us is a system that is hard to repair. It's a system that has been installed that no human has been able to hack to understand actually what it was put together for it to be working the way it is working. Most of the times we don't appreciate the fact that we have all these body organs working. We don't even think about it whenever we are healthy and running around. But once we are hit by the sickness or illness, that is when we realize that there's part of us that's not working as it should be. If your liver is not working, then your blood are not cleansed. Then when your blood are not cleansed, and remember the blood goes everywhere in your body, it can cause more danger or more harm. It can go to your brain, it can go to all these other parts of the body, and it's not cleansed. And that can cause pains, can cause you to constantly be in pain. And when you remember that, and most of the remedies is through dialysis, that is when your blood is taken out to be cleansed by an external system and put back in your body, then you realize liver is an important machine that is in us that always cleanse our blood. How many times do you pause and thank God that you are healthy? We tend to ignore all the time on all these things, how you breathe. Your breathing system is working well and clean. It filters the air, it warms up your air, brings it to the lungs when it's a warm air. It takes off the carbon dioxide from your lungs and expels it, or you exhale carbon dioxide and you inhale oxygen. This is your system that helps purify the air that you're breathing, because the air is full of particles and grains and everything. But the system that you have with the tools that are in place purifies the air. Your liver cleanses your blood. Same thing, your organs, all the organs in your body works in according to the plan. And why do you think we have all these things running? How did it even come into existence? That's my reason number 2 as to why I believe there's a supreme being behind everything as a human being. And therefore, there is a God that is always helping you. And when you start working on your faith in God, God reciprocates or honors your faith. And this is when you have a happy life, an engaged life, and you don't even feel pains on a day-to-day basis. You are running same and healthy. But then again, what you feed into your system at the end of the day will determine what comes out of the system. If all you feed in your system is garbage, of course you get garbage out. And it's more important to pay attention to what you feed into your system. You cannot use petrol when you're supposed to be using diesel, and vice versa. So you cannot be using foreign substances into your body all the time. There's something we call compound effect, and at the end of the day it accumulates in your body and slows down parts of these systems. And when at that point you get into pain, and then again now you have to pause and have a look at what's going on in your machine. Your machine is not working as efficient as it should be. And therefore I ask you today that you must be appreciative every time you're healthy, every time you feel good. Take care of yourself. Make sure that what you are putting into your machine, the input to your machine or your system, is a thing that will aid you in a day-to-day basis. Do some exercises, work out, take a walk, take care of your body, take care of your system. Oil these parts, and at the end of the day you will remain healthy. And always remember to pray for the engineer behind the mechanization of a human being. There is a supreme being behind whatever is going on in our bodies. And therefore today I wanted to remind you, it is not always about what you do during the day-to-day basis. Sometimes you need to pause and appreciate the fact that you have your systems working. Your systems are running the way they're supposed to be running. We have people today who have problems like kidney failures, liver failures, and all these failures in our systems. And until you get to that point, most of us don't appreciate the fact that they are working the way they are working. And therefore, it's my reminder today there is a force behind mechanization as a human being. There is a force behind the running of our systems, and there is a force behind why your system is healthy. Appreciate and thank God because of what you go through on a day-to-day basis, and pray that you always remain healthy. Just